Hello friends, welcome to Dev's Coding Hub. Today we are going to start a new series on XML, and the first video will be about the basic introduction of XML. So let's start with introduction to XML programming. What is XML? XML is nothing but a markup language. It stands for Extensible Markup Language. It is a markup language just like HTML. It is a HTML family markup language. The purpose of XML is to store and transport data. It was not at all designed to display data. The tags are not predefined in XML. So unlike HTML where tags are predefined, XML tags are not predefined. We need to define our own tags as a program. XML is designed to be self-descriptive. As because we are defining our own tag, it means we understand the meaning of the tag, or we define the meaning of the tag we are writing. XML is recommended by World Wide Web Consortium, that is W3C. And most important to know that it is very important for the web. So it is very important to know and very easy to learn. Prerequisites for learning XML programming. That means what are the things we should know beforehand to learn XML programming. Before we continue, we should have a basic knowledge of the following languages. The first one is Hypertext Markup Language or HTML. It gives us the ability to understand tags and elements. And the second one is JavaScript. JavaScript is used to parse XML documents. That's why we should also know JavaScript to learn or do the things we should do with XML. But for now, if you know HTML, that's enough for learning XML. Now, how we can differentiate between XML and HTML? The basic difference between XML and HTML are like this. You have to understand that XML and HTML are both designed with different goals. So XML should not be considered as a replacement for HTML. Both XML and HTML were designed with different goals. XML basically was designed to transport and store data, or to store and transport data with focus on what data is. So XML always emphasizes on data, not its representation. Whereas XML was designed to display data with a focus on how data looks. That means the primary purpose of HTML is to display data. And how data should be displayed? It is the concern of HTML. HTML can be used to create web pages, but using XML alone, we cannot create web pages. So HTML is basically about displaying information, while XML is about carrying information. XML does not do anything with data. XML simply provides data storage. It doesn't do anything with the data. So it basically stores data. It may be a little hard to understand it now, but XML does not do anything with data. XML was created to structure, store, and transport information. Now, one more advantage of XML is that we can invent our own tags. So the tags used in HTML are predefined. HTML documents can only use tags defined in the HTML standard, like paragraph, heading 1, body, head, title, or as such. But XML language has no predefined tags. The programmer has to define his or her own tags. So XML gives the author the right to define his or her own tags and his or her own document structure. This is an example of an XML document. An XML document always starts with a question mark followed by XML, followed by a space, then version 1.0 within double quotes, and question mark followed by closing of the angular bracket. So this line is the most important line and should be the first line in an XML document. This line is called the processing instruction. It tells that whatever we have written under it is an XML file. So in XML we are writing our own tags. In this example we are defining a book where we have 5 different informations about the book. The title of the book, the author of the book, the publisher of the book, number of pages, and the price of the book. The one book contains 5 set of informations. In this case, book is containing title, author, publisher, pages, and price. So book is called the root element. Now what is root element? The topmost element of an XML document is called the root element. Root element is also referred to as document element. And under root, whatever elements are there, they are called child of the root element. So there are 5 childs of the root books: title, author, publisher, pages, price. So to define a single book, we need to fill these 5 informations. So title is one tag, and the title of the book is letter C, and title is closed. Remember, in XML there is no concept of empty tags. Every tag must be a container tag. As I'll assume that you understand and you know HTML, so you know what is container tag and what is empty tag. Still, I can define an empty tag is a tag that opens but never closes. A front slash in front of the tag makes it a closing tag. So title is the opening tag and slash title is the closing tag and letter C is the data. Like this, we have put the author tag, Yashwant Kanetkar as author, and then we have closed author. As we have closed author, we have written publisher, and the BPB is the publisher. Number of pages is 378 and the price is 275. After we have completed all the tags, elements, child elements, we must close the root element. So books is the root element, we are closing it. So this is the structure of an XML document where the root element books stores 5 child elements: title, author, publisher, pages and price with their respective values. Now we must understand that XML is not a replacement for HTML, as because they were designed with two different purposes. It is important to understand that XML is not a replacement for HTML. In most web applications, XML is used to transport data. That means to transfer data from one application to another, while HTML is used to format and display the data. So both of them are having different purposes to solve. The best description of XML is a software and hardware independent tool for carrying information. In 10th February 1998, World Wide Web Consortium has standardized and recommended XML for the web. XML is everywhere. What do you mean by XML is everywhere? XML is now as important for the web as HTML was to the foundation of the web. XML is the most common tool for data transmission between all sorts of applications, as because it provides an universal format for representing data. Now, how XML can be used? XML is used in many aspects of the web development, often to simplify data storage and sharing of data. Now, one more advantage of XML is it separates data from the HTML file. If you are combining an HTML file and by using JavaScript we are trying to display the data from an XML file, it is possible. If you do so, there is a HTML file, there is an XML file. The data is not stored physically in HTML file, it is stored in XML file. And by parsing the XML file, by writing JavaScript code, we can display the contents of the XML file in the web page or HTML file. Now, if I want to change the data or add some new data and display it, I need not have to restructure or rewrite my HTML file. The parser can recursively read data from the XML file and display it. Recursively means one by one. So one by one, it can read data and repeat the same step as long as there is data in the XML file. So if you need to display dynamic data in the web page. That means when it changes, the web page changes, it will take a lot of work to edit the HTML each time the data changes. With XML, data can be stored in a separate XML file. This way you can concentrate on the HTML coding and cascading style sheet to display and lay out your web page. And be sure that changes in the underlying data will not require any changes to the HTML. With few lines of JavaScript code, you can read an external XML file and update the data content of your web page. Now, XML simplifies data sharing also. In the real world, computer systems and databases contains data that are not compatible to each other. So they are incompatible types or formats. XML data is stored in simple plain text format. This provides a software and hardware independent way of storing and transporting data. This makes it much easier to create data that can be shared by different applications. XML simplifies data transport. One of the most time-consuming challenges for developers is to exchange data between incompatible systems over the internet. Exchanging data as XML greatly reduces this complexity, since the data can be read by different incompatible applications. XML simplifies platform changes. Upgrading to a new system, hardware or software, whatever it may be, is always time consuming. Large amount of data must be converted and incompatible data is often lost. XML data is stored in text format, so this makes it easier to expand or upgrade to new operating systems, new applications or new browsers without losing any data. XML makes your data more available. What does it mean? Different applications can access your data not only in HTML pages but also from XML data sources. With XML, your data can be available to all kinds of reading machines, handheld computers, voice machines, news feeds, etc. and make it more available for blind people or people with other disabilities. XML is also known as meta language. The term meta language means a language using which other languages can be created. So a lot of new internet languages are created with XML. Here are some examples. XHTML, Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. It is used for uniformity across different browser platforms. WSDL, Web Services Description Language, for describing available web services. WML, it is also known as Wireless Markup Language, as markup languages for handheld devices like your mobile. Then RSS, Really Simple Syndication, for news feeds. This particular language is used. Then RDF, Resource Description Framework, and OWL, Oxford Wireless LAN, for describing resource and ontology. Those who have a sound knowledge of physics, they will understand what is ontology. Another language designed using XML is SMIL, Synchronized Multimedia Integration Language, for describing multimedia for the web. So if developers use XML sensibly, future applications will exchange their data in XML. So there is no overhead of installing a database for small applications. The future might give us word processors, spreadsheet applications, and database that can read each other's data in XML format without any conversion utilities in between. That's all for today. If you have liked my video, please subscribe my channel. Don't forget to like and share, and please press the notification bell so that you get an update or notification of my newly uploaded videos. Thank you.